No, I love a re-record. I'm happy that it's something that we've worked with this podcast to change the perception of for a long time. Do the re-records. Everybody own your own master, do your re-record. I would have just re-recorded the whole thing front to back and re-released it for this tour, but I realized there's a lot of challenges with that. It's easier said than done.
Yeah, and I guess we thought about that, but to be honest, I kind of was like, I don't know, maybe it's a little cash grabby or something, because like we didn't really feel like compelled to run a vinyl, like to try to print vinyl. And actually, I don't even know that I could have got vinyl printed right now. So we were more, I guess, a little more casual with it, and we were like, hey, let's do the merch line, which if you're interested in some of the classic merch plus some fresh takes on some of that old school merch, we did a Dead of My Arms merch line that's doing awesome. And we did a giveaway for it, which did great. And then we figured we'd do the tour. And I think the lineup, and I was so stoked on the lineup. I think we really got like some of the best that's out there right now. And I think if you're a fan of anything from beatdown to blackened deathcore to just straight up brutal deathcore or just death metal with Crown Mag, it's just a banging heavy show. And we try to keep it really affordable. It's $25.
Great. Yeah. What's the lineup? Go through it with us.
It's Carnifex, Spite, Oceano, Left to Suffer, Crown Magnetar.
Nice. Ben DeVardo in the chat here says, super excited to see this tour. Was lucky enough to see Play Dead in My Arms 15 years ago. So this is really going to take me back.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you're gonna have people coming out of the woodwork.
I hope. I mean, that was the thing where we wanted it. I guess we were always like a little, we hadn't really done many anniversary tours because they kind of felt gimmicky, I guess. And maybe you had that thought too, but at some point you have to realize like the records really mean something to the fans. And so why like just walk through the open door? Why try to be like artsy fartsy about it? Be like, give it the new record, is our best material. It's like, yeah, whatever, this is fun. And so we sort of just embraced that notion and said, let's just stack the bill of awesome bands and try to put together the best set we can and just give everybody a good time.
Yeah, no, and dust off the old material, give it a go. But what is the plan for the new studio album?
We have actually been writing. We have like 6 songs like in demo form, so we have them pre-pro'd out and kind of a basic form. They might get tweaked here or there, but they're actually sounding really strong. I'm pretty stoked on them. And we have a new guitar player, which actually is probably a great place to to say this. And now that it dawns on me, Neil Timon is going to be playing guitar for us. He's a member of the band,
right on.
which is yes, he's really an awesome guy, and he's just a riff factory. Like, dude can just write all day, like any metal genre you want. Riffs just come out of his hands, and that's like, that's the ultimate guitar. It's like that dude in your band, you like it puts some wind in your sails, So obviously, Sean's still writing a bunch, Corey's writing a bunch, and I'm always got my, I'm always in there. I'm sure, like, no, move this here, move that there. I'll do a thing there. So it's like fun because it's more toys to play with, because he's really just pumping out material in a way that we kind of never. I guess we're just not riff factories like that. You know what I mean? So it's cool to really like have that, that snowball effect where like, damn, that was a banger. All right, track 5. And you're like, yeah, that's a banger too. All right, track 6. Like I feel like we have some good momentum, and we're like in the meat. You know how like the first 1 or 2 pre-pro songs you do, they're maybe a little stiff. Maybe they sound a little too much like the last record, right? But then you get to like 3, 4, 5, 6, and you're like, okay, yeah, I could see that being a single. All right. And so we're like definitely in that phase where we're like, we struck some gold, so it's cool. And then we hit the studio with Jason Sukop out in Florida in February. And what we're really stoked on with him is he's got his new drum room, which he hadn't had for the past records we've done there. Admittedly, unfortunately, we've been doing the program drums like because of the pandemic and stuff. We kind of had to go there, and so we're bringing back live drums. In Jason's new drum room, which is totally badass. So we're super excited for it. It's because we were like in such a lockdown mode for the last record. You know, we did it at our home studio. It's nice to be able to kind of like do what we were doing, like go to a studio, do the record, hang with the producer. Like it just something about the process I think adds some magic to the record, and it definitely puts like a more of a, it's just like it's fun. You know, it's like we're stoked to get up and work on it every day.
Yeah. Does that inform the structures and the arrangements so much more and differently now? Because with what was the last one, Graveside Confessions, that, you know, like you just saying that now, it didn't jump out at me as one of those like programmy drum type of records, but maybe like when I do my demos, because we're programming so much, like with the Corpse Grinder demos, it informs kind of like the transitions and the fills, like if you're using those canned fills and stuff. But for your record, and because you did it like during the pandemic, you probably did most of the demos like emailing back and forth to each other and whatnot, right? Whereas this time around, you'll be in the drum room, your drummer will play the parts and be like, you know what, hey, let's try to slow that down, or let's do a different transition here, and you'll have kind of more options, right?
Yeah, fortunately during the pandemic, Sean and I actually live really near each other, so we were able to write in person together, and he really put a lot of effort and time into programming those drums. Like it was still him, it's still his patterns, like all that stuff, but we didn't have a way to capture live drums, and the record needed to come out, so that's what we had to do. It was more of a just kind of bite the bullet thing, and he put all his effort into them, and I think he did a great job of making them sound as natural as possible. But of course, as an artist, in your mind, you're like, I really wish we had those real drums, and so it's awesome to be able to be, now that obviously travel can happen no problem. We're able to get back out to Florida, and we're not in a money crunch, so that's a big relief too. We're able to get out there, and I'm stoked on Jay's new room. And yeah, I mean, we don't know who's mixing it yet. That we're still like playing around with that. But we'll be doing that.
And I feel like that record was pretty well received for being kind of, released in a weird time. I feel like you didn't. I feel like you're still gonna do in your 6-song encore. Like, what song off that record will you do?
We'll do the title track, and we'll do "Pray for Peace" probably.
Yeah. So it seems like you got those set list staples.
Oh, they're heaters for sure.
Yeah.
The thing about that record was kind of exactly what you said. Like, it was all the news that was happening really was hard to sort of break through that noise. And then on top of that, you had this like wave of like new streamers that were all demanding attention and marketing as well. And I guess a bit naively, we didn't spend any money on marketing on that album. I guess it was just this old mindset where you figure like, yeah, we have strong socials, we have good, assets, it's good artwork, it's a great pre-order package, good looking vinyl. We've done our job. Let's make the posts. But we actually weren't putting any money into like, the promotion, like marketing, like dollars of paying for posts and stuff. And so I think the time combined with what the social platforms were like really switching off the organic stuff, just completely pay to play basically at this point if you're any kind of business. We sort of missed that mark, didn't really realize that was what was going on. And so I think those two things, it's kind of a sleeper record, like I love the album musically, but yeah, it probably could have been heard by a few more people when we put it out.